everybody, and welcome back to the Creativity Broadcast. I'm your host, Laura, and I'm here to do another collective creativity reading. And this is for you if you are a creative person, if you're in relationship with your creative spirit, and if you want a little bit of community and guidance from the great beyond. All right, so without further ado, let's get to it. Just taking a deep breath to kind of ground ourselves and get present. And as always, as I'm moving through this reading, remembering that this is for your intuition and your interpretation. All right. I'm getting this image of look up, up there. Almost like a sun beaming down. Interesting. Okay, today we're actually going to begin with the wild unknown animal spirit. I'm just getting a feeling that this is where we're supposed to start. Okay. So I'm going to shuffle these and let's see what comes out in terms of the overarching message of today's reading. Let's see here. What do you want us to know? What do you want us to know? Cheetah. Ooh, interesting. We've got this bright light behind the cheetah. It's not unlike what it was I was just feeling into. Let's check out this. Check out the cheetah card. Cheetah. Cheetah, solar force, action, achievement, masculine energy. The cheetah is the epitome of the solar forces at work. The sun doesn't shine onto the cheetah. It shines from inside this great creature and expands outward to brighten the universe. The energy within a cheetah personality is palpable to others, and they naturally attract an audience to bear witness to their remarkable achievements. Purpose and passion are the best fuel for a cheetah's forward momentum, so if you're lacking in those areas, reconnect to the why before you start running. When in balance, achieves anything, boundless energy. When out of balance, impatient or competitive. Stop yelling at me. To bring into balance, reconnect to purpose. Yeah, so what I'm really getting about cheetah right now is it's a very interesting moment in cycles of creation where things are starting to turn and come to fruition. And some of us have a particular pull when it feels like things are moving to want to add momentum, or which is not necessarily bad, but I think there's some nuance here to bringing your leadership to something so that it can grow and move forward, much like the sun giving nourishment to plants. But there's a line between that and impatiently rushing things forward. I personally can think of a couple of areas where my inner cheetah is sort of let me out, let me go, And I think this is a really wonderful reminder, not only of yes, you totally can, you have that leadership capability, and you are bright and warm, and you have that gravitational pull, just like the sun. The sun is the center of its solar system. And you don't have to run full speed ahead. In fact, I'm really getting this as more of a cautionary, or I don't want to say cautionary, more of like a duality of message of like, yes, the energy is correct so that you can bring this full force, this full creativity, your full solar flair, if you will. Sorry, that was corny, but that's what's coming through. And without it being a forceful speed, like this is actually probably more about allowing things to move in partnership, perhaps with other parties, like whether you're working with a group or another person, and having that be perhaps more important than fulfilling the desire to like go fast. This is reminding me personally a lot of in my astrology chart, my Mars is in Aries. And like, I feel like that's the worst possible place to have an Aries placement because Mars is already so combative. So like my energy can get really fiery. It's like big cat and solar all at once. So I'm kind of laughing about this for myself. But also really enjoying the creative possibilities. Like there are particularly 2-3 areas right now where I'm feeling the push and pull and the cheetah energy, and also really feeling the excitement and the delight of like opening up to new big futures while also allowing them to take root, getting more connected to purpose instead of just full speed ahead simply because that's what you're used to doing. I'm thinking let's actually pull a second card from Animal Spirit Guidebook here. Animal Spirit deck, you know what I'm saying. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Sometimes when I'm doing these readings, I feel like my command of the English language takes a backseat a little bit. Okay, let's get a second Animal Spirit reading. It's asking for here. Camel. Okay, yes. Yes. Is there a third that wants to come? Yeah. And Vulture. Oh, this is so good. Wow, look at this. How nice, too. Okay, so we've got this kind of cool balance of like Cheetah, which is solar. And then we have Camel, which actually has the moon and the night sky. So we've got that nice balance. And then Vulture, which is all about like composting and not going ahead too fast. Man, that's so great. Thank you. Okay. Camel, let's see. This is so great. Okay. Camel, yes. Resourceful, independent, knows oneself. Okay, talk about pacing yourself and like, God, that's so funny. All right. The camel can handle absolutely anything as it carries a wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant and handles challenge with ease, even in the face of excess heat, judgment, or anger. The camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. The camel represents the ultimate form of bringing opposites into balance, fire and water. Yes. And being responsible for one's own reactions. This is literally what I was just saying. Okay. The camel is a wonderful traveler and is especially fond of trips to faraway lands. When in balance, calm, content, sparkle in eye. Okay. When out of balance, dehydrated, lacks vitality. To bring into balance, a pilgrimage. Ah, yeah. So camel. Camel wants to go the distance. Hercules pun intended. Camel is built for that, but Camel makes these long journeys, pilgrimages that are like deeply important to Camel. And Camel does them with that sense of knowing their shadow, knowing their limitations, and actually being willing to go step by step, take breaks. And I think because Camel has to be so resourceful in their traveling, Camel also knows when is it time to give a ton of energy and when is it time to not. So let's actually go ahead and look at Vulture next. Man, what a cool card to come through right now. It's really neat. That's really neat. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Vulture. guardian and purifier, essential for rebalance. Wow. The vulture is perhaps the most misunderstood creature of all. This intriguing bird balances our ecosystem and prevents the spread of disease. It does the dirty work that no one else wants to do and cleans up our messes. The vulture appears when there's a situation that needs to be purified or brought back into balance. This theme of balance. Remember, the vulture is greatly undervalued. What you thought was a mistake or tragedy is a blessing in disguise. When in balance, clarifies and reveals wisdom. When out of balance, dramatic or aggressive. To bring into balance, cleaning your space. Yes. So again, it's almost like we have this. This is so silly. I apologize for how silly this is. But imagine that Cheetah is the instigator. Camel and Cheetah are like on this journey together. And part of how they actually get where they're going is by the vulture purifying as they're going. So yeah, this is just really cool. I was actually thinking this morning, I was like, oh, it'd be, I think, a really nice moment in time, since I'm doing a lot of completion work on a couple of different projects in different areas. You know, it's the autumn season. We're looking at what are we letting go, which, remember, is a huge process, not just something that happens once most of the time. And Vulture is really asking us to pause and both tend to what needs to be cleansed and purified, and also celebrate that that's happening. I was kind of thinking that I might do a little bit of a purge of my office space, move some stuff around. I might even do a little bit of like smoke cleansing, maybe with a cinnamon stick or maybe with sound. I'm not sure. But yeah, just I think if you're feeling the any sort of impulse to clean or cleanse, whether that's emotional or physical, or maybe a little bit of all, maybe you want to take a really nice cleansing salt bath or something. I'm getting that this is a really good time for that. I'm also feeling like for many of us, Cheetah is a bit of a harbinger of new beginnings and new future visions. And they might be just like so enticing. Like they feel really aligned and they feel really good. And so you want to just like go, go, go. But we are headed into the winter season. So this may be more about actually beginning to connect with a future vision, something that you'd like to see come into fruition, maybe blossoming by this time next year, and starting to connect with that future vision while being open to the process each season is going to take us through. So maybe that's for some of you. Vulture, that's so cool. All right, so for a little bit more clarification on this, maybe perhaps placing us on our journey a bit, let's go to Wisdom of Avalon next. Some of my faves. Okay. Wow, can you all hear that bird outside? I don't know what kind of bird that is. I don't usually hear that kind of bird around here. Man. I wonder if I can I bird ID this like while I'm shuffling? Let's see. Oh, it's a house sparrow. Wow. 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 You know, I was just listening to that song I love, Sparrow. Watch it fly away like a sparrow, like a sparrow. This is a song that inspired me to actually start doing these readings a couple of months ago. I had the thought when I was taking a long walk and I was listening to that song, and then that night I had a dream, and I dreamed the song. Don't know how else to explain that. I dreamed the sparrow song and woke up with this really strong feeling that I needed to start doing readings for us as a collective on this channel, and that they would fly away like a sparrow. But I also really love that song. It's the one that I posted on Instagram after my band played at the Rosendale Street Festival, kind of as like a celebration, because the refrain in that song goes, "Tonight I'm sleeping on the fire escape. Tonight I'm keeping all the stars awake." It's just like a really like excited, alive feeling, which I just love so much. So that is really cool that just happened. I don't get a sparrow here close enough that I can hear it ever. It's interesting. Okay. So let's connect into Wisdom of Avalon. What are we looking for? What do you need us to know? I have that song stuck in my head. Tonight I'm sleeping on the fire escape. It's a great song. It's by Jump Little Children. The frog. I'm getting a second one. Hold on. No, it's giving 3. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we've got Risk, the king, and the frog. Okay, so the frog, cleaning house, releasing emotional baggage. It's a 14, which breaks down to a 5. Look at this frog. He's like, clean up. Man. If any of you have read my book, How to Be Creative in the Age of Digital Noise, you know how much frogs have my respect. That is so cool. We actually saw a frog in the backyard the other day for the first time in a while. Okay, then we had the king. King is number 3. Man, authority, male sexual energy, things pertaining to the law and justice. Interesting. Very similar to this cheetah energy that we had before. And then risk, 40. Yeah, look at this. It's got this sort of like open road, almost like there's many possibilities ahead. It's kind of diverging here. There's like different pathways. Risk is a 40. Wow. That's interesting that we had 3, the frog, the king, and risk. And then we had cheetah, camel, and vulture. I'll be interested to see how this comes together. Okay. So, Wisdom of Avalon. First, let's go to the frog because you're the first one that I got. Okay. All right. So this is really doubling down on this cleaning and cleansing energy. The frog says that it's time to clean house and get rid of the clutter in your environment, your head, and your heart. Move out any objects, thoughts, or relationships that hold you back. Okay, this is very straightforward. I feel like vulture is the sort of like tending energy, and frog is like, get to work, clean out. It's time to get rid of anything that clutters your life or your space with unwanted, burdensome energy or anything that weighs heavily on your heart. So there's also an energy here of release of burden, like a lot of permission for lightness, but having to take the active step of removing the burdens. Look around you and take stock of what surrounds you. Does what you see hold positive and supportive energy? If not, it's time to throw it away and release it so that it, in turn, will release you from its influence. Interesting. So a relationship. Okay. When the frog appears, it's always spring and time for cleaning your house so you can allow new and fresh energy to enter your world. So again, this same energy of like ready for the new thing, perhaps really excited, but instead of going full force, remembering we've got to go kind of step by step and trust ourselves and use our knowledge of ourselves and purify as we go. Yeah, really cool. Okay, it's almost, I'm just getting the image of, it's almost like cheetah and camel, the journey that they're on, they're going up a mountain, and the higher that they get, the less stuff they can carry because it's higher altitude and kind of requiring more energy from them. And so they're kind of like releasing burdens as they go. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. It says the frog says it's time to release all things no longer appropriate to bring on your journey. Then you can hop to the next lily pad, light and free. Oh, how nice is that? Thank you, frog. Look how Frog is like a little judgy, but I think Frog is also like, you know what I'm saying. He's like, cut the crap. This is hilarious. Okay, next let's take a look at the king. Okay. The king appears to represent the powers of justice, authority, the law, and male energy. When the king appears on your path, it's time to put your house in order. Complete any unresolved legal issues and deal with issues related to fairness. The king always lets you know that something significant is yours to experience and learn from. The king requires you to take inventory of anything left undone and do it. Pay bills, settle arguments, make amends, act with authority. All these actions abolish weakness and restore power. Yeah, so that energy of like the tending is also in this. You're also reminded that the king is regarded in highest esteem, and within his natural authority, he acts with intelligence and strategy. Think and analyze, and the king will bestow great gifts on you. There is another meaning when the king appears on your path. If you're inquiring about a man and your relationship to him, the king stands to represent him, which will bode well or not so well, depending on which other cards flank him. Okay, interesting. Pay attention, for this king reminds you to take affirmative action in your life. Yeah, okay, so we are getting that same thing of like tend, get ready for the big stuff and move, but not crazy moving. Okay, so let's look at the risk, because we just learned that the cards that the king emerged with will color the message of the king. Risk. This marker brings excitement to your path. You cannot know the outcome of the action you're being called to take until you do it. In this way, you're required to be blind in the forest for a time, risking all you know and all you've acquired on the journey for the potential of something better. It's a little bit of a trading the known for the unknown, with the risk of it being absolutely wonderful. Perhaps the training you require demands faith in what you cannot experience with your five senses, but reliance on the sixth sense. This is like that last reading, like relying on your senses. Your intuition can provide you with another type of sight to aid you on your journey. Very important questions can be answered now. Is engaging in the situation worth the risk, or does my inner sight tell me to wait until another opportunity comes? Am I willing to learn a lesson of defeat and surrender to the promise of unknown potential? Pray for guidance and ask for a sign. If the answer is yes, take the risk. If no, rest, regroup, and wait on the will of the divine mystery. Another sacred journey marker may reveal the answer. Oh my goodness. Ugh, what an interesting moment. You know, part of what's striking me about the risk card is first of all, just the theme in this reading of like embarking on a pilgrimage of some kind, which to me has it, like, if this is resonating with you all, it probably means that the journey that you're beginning in this season may have a quality of pilgrimage in that it has like a soul level resonance for you. Hold on a second. Yes, like a soul level calling of some kind. And so the journey will feel a little bit different than other journeys might, because that's the nature of a pilgrimage. A pilgrimage, I think if you actually look up the definition, is like religious in nature, or having something to do with your lineage, like you're like returning to a place that is of grand significance. And part of the power of a pilgrimage is the choice to go, the choice to leave what's known to go and do it, and also the acknowledgement that the getting there is supposed to be kind of challenging. That's so cool. Wow. So I'm thinking for this clarification around the king, let's actually ask one other deck just to sort of clarify, because the king was giving a lot of different signals. He's like, get your house in order so you can keep going, which is great. And then there's this other possibility of him being about an actual male person, which I'm also getting is maybe less of a person and perhaps an entity, a project, for example. Like in my intuition and my dreaming, different projects in my life sometimes take on certain entities, you know, like my band, for example, sometimes presents like a person, even though like in real life, the band is an entity. I mean, like a group of people. Anyway, that's sort of weird to explain, but maybe you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I think for this third one, yeah, Sacred Destiny is asking to talk. So, Sacred Destiny, can you please clarify the message brought here by the king? And of course, this third draw, also any support with actions, like what support with taking action here. Okay, let's see. Is there another one? All right, what do we get? Wow. Success and purification. This is wild, you all. Okay. Again, all the same themes across all these different decks. They must really want us to hear this. So we have this sunflower, again, in full bloom and receiving the sunlight. You can see this is also about purification. The sunflower is being rained on. Wow. And it's in a field of sunflowers and it's receiving nourishment from the purification. And success. Look, we have this another big cat. This is wild. This is wild. All right, let's you all, this is crazy. Okay. Purification. All right. Here we go. Summer rain. Traditionally, rain symbolizes rebirth and washing one's sins away. Water is also associated with emotions, and a summer rain can represent the release of long-held emotions that allows for a purification and inner healing. There's also a renewal aspect of rain. Yes, the old saying, April showers bring May flowers, means that what follows the rain is a time of renewal and blossoming. Let me just take a moment to promote the benefits of healthy crying. Yes, okay. The sacred landscape wants you to know it's difficult for new, vibrant energy to enter your life if it is clogged with old and outdated energy. Cleanse and purify your body and your physical space. This is a great time for a detox, clutter, clearing, cleansing, and space clearing. Frog time. Release outdated energy to invite fresh, clear energy into your life. Eat lightly. Don't take things personally. Release resentment, guilt, and blame. I love that. It's such a great like creature advice for this moment. Like, eat light. Don't take things personally. Like, hop around. Let yourself be a frog. Purify yourself, thought, word, and deed. Again, reconnecting with purpose, just like the cheetah advice. If you don't love it or use it, let it go. This card can also represent abundance, as flowing water is a metaphor for prosperity, and summer is the time of expansion. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay. This is really on the nose here. Okay. Success, tropical jungle. Tropical jungles are some of the richest and most successful habitats on our planet. They have incredible diversity, a multitude of plant varieties, and animal inhabitants. They are dense with life force that is rapidly growing and rapidly changing. The lushness of their vegetation is essential to the ecological health of the earth. In many ways, the success of the planet. Okay. The success of the planet depends on the rainforest. These areas are called the lungs of the planet. Ugh. Yeah, it's just like the breathing in and the breathing out, the purifying that's happening. The plants absorb carbon dioxide, produce oxygen, and help reduce the impact of worldwide climate change. In addition, thousands of plant and animal species that may have medical properties have yet to be discovered. The sacred landscape wants you to know. Satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment are at hand. Success is waiting to expand in your life. Waiting to expand. Okay. Oh, be ready to accept and embrace this success, for it might occur rapidly. All is possible. The gates of triumph are waiting to open. Being in a state of gratitude for all the small successes in your life will give birth to larger ones. Yeah, so we're getting really clear actions here about cleansing and purifying. There's like the physical cleansing of yourself and also of your environment. And then there's also the emotional and spiritual cleansing of really like taking stock and letting go on purpose. And we're also getting this message of actual intense gratitude practice. Okay. I'll read this again. Being in a state of gratitude for all the small successes in your life will give birth to larger ones. Your satisfaction will come in many forms and from many areas of life. Celebrate it all and breathe it all in, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. This is an excellent time to make commitments, sign contracts, and make deals. Good fortune will ensue. Wow. Sacred Destiny Oracle. Wowee. Wow. Wow. Success, purification. Well, I feel like we all have our marching orders. You'll have to let me know in the comments, what are you letting go of? What's the purification feeling like for you? And also, if you want to share for fun, like, what are the big picture visions? What's the pilgrimage presenting itself? What's the soul level journey that is actually calling for so much purification? It's probably pretty big. Mine's definitely about music, but it's also about West of Wonderland, and I'm just excited. I'm excited to share more in time. Yes. All right. Well, thanks again for joining me for this collective creativity reading. I hope it was helpful. Please feel free to drop into the comments. I always love hearing from you all about what's resonating, about what you're growing and what you're building. And if you're interested, you can go ahead and sign up for my newsletter. I've got some cool free stuff like the free guide, Uncover Your Creative Magic, as well as some other courses like Creative Clear Out and Money and Creativity, a Love Story. So yeah, thanks everybody. Take really good care. I'll see you later.